The act of classification and information retrieval has been concerned with retrieving information that is relevant and useful. The ability to discover useful resources has become increasingly important in the digital age. The need to locate information has led to the creation of classification systems to organize knowledge and information. Traditional classification systems often include hierarchies of subject headings and controlled vocabularies. User-generated folksonomies, or social tagging, has begun to emerge as an alternative to these traditional taxonomies. However, both systems do not come without weaknesses. This presentation aims to explore whether or not social tagging is effective in enhancing classification and/or information retrieval. Traditional classification has been criticized in that terms are often outdated, use biased language, and are non-intuitive for users. Folksonomies emerged due to their adaptable and flexible nature that can more easily accommodate new terms and concepts more readily than controlled vocabularies like the Library of Congress subject headings. With folksonomies, users are able to add new terms that can reflect current events or changes in lexicon. Often similar changes in controlled vocabularies could take months or even years to update. Also, folksonomies use natural language, which mirrors more closely how users think and speak, making searching more intuitive. Van der Waals states that the value of folksonomies is rooted in people using their own vocabulary and adding explicit meaning, which may come from inferred understanding of the information. So tagging represents a conceptual understanding of a resource. But even though social tagging offers flexibility compared to most traditional indexing systems, collaborative tagging systems lack any sort of control or consistency in which tags can be applied. So terminology in folksonomies can vary widely based on users' vocabulary, cultural background, or a particular interest in an item. Terms are often applied inconsistently by users because of misspellings, use of plural or singular forms, or use of capitalization. So the lack of control also leads to high numbers of synonyms, homonyms, any variations in spelling or word forms, or other ambiguities in word use. Whereas one of the main purposes of controlled vocabularies is to disambiguate between words and to choose preferred terms from synonyms. Tag terms are often also too broad or too narrow compared with the controlled vocabulary terms. These amateur indexers, or taggers, do not understand the need for a regulated hierarchical organization system. The lack of control and consistency can cause high levels of noise, resulting in tags and search results that are irrelevant. These messy tags tend not to aid in information retrieval. So in this sense, folksonomies often do not yield better search results than using the same keywords in search engines like Google, because the majority of the keywords used are very general. Although in some circumstances, many of these disadvantages could be seen to have a positive side for information retrieval. Again, users may be using language that is more current, language that is more specialized, or may be better targeted towards the amateur searcher. By providing terminology for many levels of specificity, different users could be helped by different terms. Although one obvious disadvantage of tagging is that often taggers are primarily tagging for their own personal use, which may make tags meaningless to others. Most studies concluded that the two methods of classification provide access to library sources were complementary rather than one being better than the other. Both types have strengths and weaknesses and suggest that libraries could best serve their users by combining the two types of systems. Spiteri found that keywords and Library of Congress subject headings were complementary, and that both the controlled and user-generated terms provided unique terms that were not otherwise present in the record, which aided in retrieval by use of keyword searching. It was also found that folksonomies may be useful in enhancing descriptions of materials that have not been sufficiently described. Adding tags to the library catalog could also be useful for materials that lack meaningful subject headings, like works of fiction.